What's so exciting about this weekend is that we've got a pack of strictly CrossFit and CrossFit Endurance athletes participating in the 2010 Lake Placid Ironman. And if you just do some simple math and assume there's 2,000 athletes at every Ironman, which is actually on the low side, Lake Placid will have about 2,300 this weekend. That number, give or take, is about 50,000. So if you just say, hey, roughly 50,000 people will do Ironman in any given year, 1,800 of them are going to qualify for Kona, and that's it. So if you do the quick math there, you're talking about 2%, 2 to 3% of all Ironman competitors across the world are going to qualify for Kona. What that means is that you've got 96, 97, 98% of the world's Ironman athletes who will not go to Kona. I say that in that group of athletes, for the most part, painting broad strokes, or have been trained or have the conventional mindset that they somehow need to invest 12, 15, 20 hours of time simply to be at their best on race day. So what I'm really interested in this protocol is to share with the world that there are different ways to get there. You don't have to invest all that time and effort and energy. It's absolutely an option. But for those folks who feel very strongly about the social life that they might have or a way of life they might have, they don't have the kind of time to commit that way, there's another way. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I think it's a better way, and I think it's a more holistic way of establishing functional fitness that applies directly into endurance activity. So, in a nutshell, I'm more interested in the 98% of the public out there who might not be aware of this protocol, what it can do for them, versus simply focusing on a protocol that might be indicative of 2% of the athletes in the world.
Can you just give me your name, athletic background, age, where you live?
I'm Errol Igasa. I'm living in Connecticut, originally from Argentina. I'm 38 years old. I just got my life back. I lost 85 pounds last year, and thank you for your help and CrossFit help. I'm here today, the day before the race, feeling absolutely ready for tomorrow.
So have you ever done an Ironman before?
No, this will be my second ever triathlon. I did my first triathlon in March this year. It was a half Ironman, so this will be my first ever Ironman.
Okay, Melanie Melinkowski. I am 42 years old. I'm a nurse practitioner. And my athletic profile, triathlete for 3 years. 30.
And have you done a race like this before?
This will be my fourth.
What other Ironmans have you done?
I've done Lake Placid twice before, and I did Hawaii once.
Okay, Jay Swift, 42 years old, live in Connecticut, background athletically, hockey player, triathlete, I coach hockey, young hockey players, and I've been doing triathlons since 2003, was my first triathlon.
And how many Ironmans have you done?
4. This Lake Placid will be my 5th.
How have the last 6 months been in terms of how you felt about getting prepared for this race, and what are the kinds of things that you've done differently maybe in terms of training maybe for a race like last year versus something like this year?
Well, this year it's funny because I refer to this little white piece of paper every day, and I look at it and I'll see, okay, 3 squats, 5 times. I'm like, that's it? That's all I got to do today? Usually you're used to doing the 2-hour bike ride, the 5-hour run, and you're saying goodbye to your family at 8 in the morning, and you're not coming home to dinner, and I don't have to do that anymore. And I love it because, for one, you have more family time, you have more time to do what you want to do, and you know what? I like having these small exercise things because you really push yourself to the point where you're going to vomit. You really do, and the only one that can push you that far is yourself. Like, I will go to the gym and I'll do box jumps, squats, and then say push-ups, and I look like an animal in there, and I sound like an animal, but I don't care.
What does your family think about what you're doing?
At the beginning, they thought I was another crazy idea from Ariel. So, but now they are fully supported. They are seeing the results. They are seeing the results. They are with me all the time, and they are happy because when I first expressed myself, I want to do an Ironman. The reaction from my wife was, okay, you will be training like how many hours per week? That was the question because we have a daughter, a 5-year-old daughter, and we are we both are busy at work, so she thought, okay, I lost him. And I said, no, don't worry, we will be doing this in another way. So that was her second concern, because she came from sports, so she knows how demanding is an Ironman. So kind of at the beginning she didn't get it, but now she absolutely get it and is fully committed with this. And she's even starting doing CrossFit with me. And my 5 years old wants to do a triathlon through training CrossFit. So she's rowing too. She's lifting kettlebells. So she's that is one of my biggest motivational and inspires me, because I saw her doing this naturally, and I wish I was me at 5 years old doing that. I wish.
How I used to train, long, slow distance. Quite frankly, I used to put the hours in. I would put in 20 to 30 hour weeks of training. Get on the bike, ride 100 miles, get out on the run for 3 hours. Very little to no intensity, no weights, no nutrition, and that was it. Just tons and tons of hours. Not how I train now. Very high intensity, very little hours. It's quality over quantity all the time, and the nutrition is a huge key to what I do now.
How is your nutrition different versus what do you do now differently than you did before your first Ironman?
First Ironman, I ate tons and tons of carbs, very little fat, lots of protein, which I thought was helping me recover, and quite frankly, it never did anything for me. I started zoning a few years ago, very serious zone diet, and now I weigh and measure my food. I have the proper amounts of protein, carbohydrates, and fat that I eat on a regular basis, and I have more of a balance in my diet, and it's made a huge difference in my performance.
So what happened from a performance perspective between training the way you used to train and maybe training the way that you train now?
I'm healthier. I feel better every day. I feel better than I've ever felt. I am stronger and I'm faster. I can move more weight faster than I've ever been able to move it, and my body moves faster.
How much faster did you have you performed in races using this protocol versus your older protocol?
I had a 30-minute PR in Ironman last year from the year before that, so a 30-minute difference.
When you think about some of the other folks who are training, let's say more traditionally, when you've spoken with them or interacted with them or your paths have crossed, what has the dialogue been like with them when they hear how you're training versus how they're training? I mean, do they feel a need to help you out, like you're making some kind of a mistake, or are they more interested or more critical about your training?
I find out sometimes talking about CrossFit is like talking about politics or religion. And at the beginning, the first 2 to 3 minutes conversation with a guy who is training for an Ironman goes really good, because we're all excited. Oh, you're doing an Ironman, and all the the synergy is going well, until they say how many hours per week you ride, and that is where the whole conversation stops, because they don't want to hear you are not riding for 5 hours on a Saturday. You're not running for hours and hours and miles during the week. So basically, my personal experience is if I've been talking with 20 guys, just half of one is showing interest in how I'm training. The rest is like, okay, he's a freak. I don't care. I will keep pounding myself, and I will do it in that way.
A lot of them don't embrace the short, intense workouts.
And how's that made you? I mean, have you dealt with that?
You feel like a bit of a loner, but when I do go out and do my 30K rides, I'm riding better than they are, which is good.
How do they respond to that?
They want to do strength training during the winter. I think you have a couple of people that want to do it.
So, it's funny you should say that. So they see you perform a certain way.
Yeah, and they see that it's obviously benefiting.
But their response is somehow I want to do that in the winter, maybe not next spring.
Well, they definitely see that it benefits. So
but maybe there's still some kind of a
I'll probably
concern.
fight some reservation.
How much of a PR was that?
I was 11:15 last day.
That's 25 minutes, right?
25
10:49.
Wow.
10:49.
Unbelievable. Oh my goodness.
Awesome. You must have negative split.
What's that?
You must have negative split or something.
I had to. Man, you know what? I feel great.
Walked right past it.
I feel great.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely awesome.
Tremendous. Oh my.
What's up?
Buddy, I did it! I did.
We've done 3 or 4, right? This is the 4th one here, so I mean,
About my second fastest.
right.
So that's a good sign.
After only 3 months.
I know. I am, no, I'm thrilled. It was just, I think once I had to slow down on the bike, I got nervous.
Right.
Because I didn't want it to happen like it did last year. But it didn't.
In terms of,
Cramping.
okay. Nice.
Hey, what size shirt can we wow?
So you're an Ironman.
I know.
How does that feel?
It feels awesome. It feels really good. I was smiling the whole way.
That's great.
Whole way.